everyone, it's Jordan and I have another What I Eat in a Day video today, and the theme for this one is what I eat for hormone health. So the reason hormones are of interest to me is I had a blood test done I think it was maybe a year or so ago, and it just happened to show that I have low estrogen levels. It got me thinking that's not something that was on my radar at all, that it could be low. It kind of got me thinking about hormone health and okay, well, what do I do to increase it? And one of the options was, well, you can go back on the pill, but it's well, what if you don't want to be on the pill? Or you just don't want to take something fake or just mask the symptom. I want my body to be able to work for itself. So it got me to do some research, and I recently read some really great books, and the first one was Taking Charge of Your Fertility, and it's a great book even if you are not trying to conceive. It's all about fertility, just in fertility health in a general sense. It talks about, if you do want to conceive, things you could do, but also what's important if you don't want to conceive. So highly recommend that book for any female. You will learn so much about your cycle that you never knew before, and you're going to be mad that you didn't know all this stuff before, but it's a really easy read, makes it really understandable. So highly recommend that book. And then I've also been reading this book by, shiny, Sara Gottfried. It is The Hormone Cure, and I think she's since come out with some more updated books, but this one was the one that was at my library, so I picked this one up. And I've also been reading a lot. There's a whole entire section in here about low estrogen. So for this video today, I'm going to be sharing some of the things that I've added specifically in my diet that are supposed to help with hormone balance and hormone health. Really quickly, I'm not gonna get all sciencey, but I do just wanna mention what hormones are, and they are basically, think of them as messengers in the body. So there are hundreds of hormones, and they have many different roles and jobs, and they're very different for men or women, but basically the brain tells your hormones to go to the cells, and then the hormone, if the cell accepts that hormone, will do what the hormone tells it to do. So you can see how with hundreds of them and many different environmental, nutrition, and all these different factors, things can get out of whack or unbalanced. For women, we have three main hormones that you hear about a lot, one of which is cortisol, that is the stress hormone. Then we have the thyroid, which is responsible for energy and the metabolism, and estrogen, which is our sex hormone. If you're having symptoms like irregular cycles, or if you're trying to conceive, or even if you're not trying to conceive, but you have irregular cycles, or you just feel moody and crappy, low energy, you have a really hard time handling stress, you're irritable, all those things, if you're experiencing them most of the time versus every once in a while, like any normal human being, if you're experiencing them more of the time and you just feel like your body is turning against you sometimes, or most of the time, it could be your hormones, and it's worth going to the doctor, having them checked out, having a blood test done, and finding out if you might be low in something or too high in something. But these symptoms are not just part of being a woman. We deserve optimal health, and we deserve to feel good. We do not need to live moody and stressed out and irritable all the time. We should feel good and happy most of the time. I know at one point I was kind of just this is just me and how I'm going to feel, but no, screw that. Be an advocate for your own health and how you feel, and go find out and take charge of what you need to do, because there are many things that you can do naturally that will help improve your hormone balance. All right, that's all we need to talk about, so let's get into the video. that too much caffeine really increases my anxiety levels and therefore the stress hormone cortisol. So I'm working to decrease the amount I drink, and I'm down to about just a little over a half a cup of plain black coffee in the morning. But remember, everyone's different. Caffeine is a drug, and so everyone's dose will be a little bit different. So just do what works best for you. Chocolate oats, and they are made with raw cacao, and many studies show that dark chocolate, as long as it is the real good raw cacao kind and not loaded with sugar, can reduce cortisol and have really good antioxidant benefits. I also have been adding maca powder to my oats and smoothies because it is shown to increase estradiol, which improves your mood. Loving watermelon as a snack lately instead of something sugary, because sugar and refined carbs really spike insulin, and this spike really impede the liver's ability to metabolize hormones. So go for something sweet that is a whole plant food like fruit, full of fiber to balance that insulin. That I read recommended getting healthy omega-3s in your diet. So today I had a lemon and quinoa kale salad that also had chopped walnuts, and walnuts are a great source of omega-3s. These are much better than saturated fats because they don't cause inflammation like saturated fats do. Is an amazing source of vegetable protein, and vegetable protein is definitely ideal for balanced hormones versus animal protein. So get your protein from beans, peas, soybeans, tofu, nuts, and whole grains like quinoa. That night for dinner, I made a creamy, cheesy yellow squash sauce to go on top of some whole grain macaroni noodles. Increasing your fiber intake and getting fiber from fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and beans can improve fertility and female hormone health because it controls blood sugar and insulin levels. It's also super important to get your iron from plant sources, and some great plant sources are spinach, tomatoes, beans, pumpkin like squash, and whole grain cereals, or just whole grains in general. So much for watching. I will have anything that I mentioned in the video down below in the description box with links to information. If you have any comments or questions, make sure to leave them as well. Like this video if you like kind of what I eat in a days with health tips and like nutrition tips thrown in there. If you'd rather just see what I eat or recipes, let me know. And I hope you have a great rest of the week. I will see you next week for another video. Bye! I know.